So we are starting our evening session. This is plenary session, so all the participants are here. And we'll start with the Red Pitaya presentation now. So I ask Mr. Žiga to join us.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Žiga, and I'm a representative of Red Pitaya here on this conference. I'm really happy to be here, and I'm also extending you a warm hello from my colleagues. Today, I will tell you a little bit about our two Pathfinder application experiments, which were targeting accelerating innovation, and we tried to do that through educational content and product development, and both of our efforts were centered around this small practical device. And let me first start with telling you a little bit about Red Pitaya, so you get slowly introduced to us. Our story started in 2013 when a couple of engineers from Instrumentation Technologies, which produces instrumentation for particle accelerators like CERN and others, decided to bring a more practical, affordable, and accessible product to the market. And this is how Red Pitaya was born. So from our very beginnings, we strived towards making highly capable technology more accessible to more people. And we like to talk about this as a democratization of technology. And this is a true line through this presentation, as you will see. And we come from a small country of Slovenia, which is kind of a good parallel to the smallness of our devices. So to start with some technicalities, this board is essentially a data acquisition device. It has 125 megasamples per second, inputs and outputs, two of each with independent resources. It has an ARM processor and as well as an FPGA, and it's running Linux operating system. And you can connect to it simply through an Ethernet cable. So you can type the Red Pitaya's IP address in your internet browser and you're in. And once you're in, you can pretty much immediately start using one of the applications that are mentioned here. So you can have an oscilloscope and signal generator. You can use it as an LCR meter, spectrum analyzer, logic analyzer, boat analyzer, or vector network analyzer. And if you want to take it further and go beyond what is already available, you can connect through it to one of the software packages that you can see on the screen and program your own application. So it's a really tool that can take you from the very beginnings to super advanced applications and projects, some of which you will see later. In academia, we are used all over Europe as well as across the pond. So we have, of course, our University of Ljubljana and Technical University of Munich, Princeton University, Boston University, MIT, and many others. Here's a project that students at Princeton University did. It uses gamma spectroscopy to verify nuclear warheads. If you're interested more, you can find details on our website. And another example is this, where they used some for the imaging of Earth's atmosphere to detect solar storms. Now, when COVID hit, it turned out that this device is perfect for remote teaching when students are not in the labs, because it enables remote control. So students can use it from their homes, and professors can just connect it to their computer so they can do measurements from the safety of their homes. We have available teaching materials, so it's easy to for students to know what to do, and it's easy for professors to prepare their materials if they want to customize it. There are step-by-step examples on GitHub. It's a really easy to use platform. So to get started, all you need is an internet browser and you're good to go. And it's also a very low price. So it's accessible to students, and it's not just that they can access it remotely, but you can also put it on their home desk and it won't cost as much as a full-fledged oscilloscope. And this brings us to our first experiment, which are teaching materials and lessons that are based on this device. So first is a book about FPGA programming. This one is connected to basics of digital systems, and you can find it also on the desk over there, where I'll be happy to see you. And it takes students through the very basics, like representation of binary numbers and decimal systems and the Boolean algebra, and really things that build up the field of build up to FPGA knowledge. So the next book, the second part, is about Verilog, where again students are learned the very essentials that help them get started with being FPGA programmers. And for circuits and electronics, we also produced a number of fun, interactive, and also informational videos that introduce the theoretical concepts one by one. So here you have some examples: operational amplifiers, active filters, superposition, analog addition and subtraction, diodes, full wave rectifiers, Schmitt triggers, function generators, pulse width modulation, and so on. They introduce the theory behind it and then show it with a practical example that's also available in an open source repository, so students can repeat the exercises and follow along using their Red Pitaya. So this essentially provides universities with a low-cost device, a low-cost laboratory, and the content they need to conduct lab exercises and educate future engineers. As a complement to these videos, there's also another ebook that's also available on our website. And I should also mention that you can get it on SMART4ALL Marketplace as well. Here are some examples. As you can see, you have the video, the written text, and the pictures. There are schematics of how to connect your Red Pitaya. This is for diodes and Schmitt triggers. Here's a quote from the recipient of this technology in the Pathfinder experiment. And they confirmed that the content is relevant and valuable. It gives students all they need to get started. It's interactive, fun, and it accomplishes the goal that professors have in mind when trying to educate their students. But of course, all students graduate at some point, and where do they go after that? They either become researchers or they go into industry. And this is where Red Pitaya is also a strong choice. It's a part of many scientific and research projects. It can be a core signal acquisition platform for high-speed applications. It's fully programmable, and then it can be integrated pretty much anywhere because it's open source and it supports many programming languages. And this is true across various industries, as you can see here on some small sample of our partners. And for industry, we developed the second experiment, which is our X-channel signal acquisition IoT system. And what it actually is, it's a low budget solution for acquiring many signals that, again, brings the technology closer to companies like startups and non-profit organizations that don't have the resources of big corporations. How it works is that you essentially connect Red Pitayas in a chain through SATA cables, and there's a master in the system that controls other boards, and you can have a large number of channels available to you for input and output. So here's how the system looks. You have this network of Red Pitayas, one central server Red Pitaya that collects all the data and communicates with the client PC. So the applications that this is designed for is anywhere where you need multi-channel signal acquisition or generation. This can be medical and industry imaging, non-destructive testing, radar and LiDAR, phased array antennas, readout of scientific multi-channel detectors, multi-channel SDR receivers, and power grid monitoring. So again, we're trying to bring multiple channels to multiple people, expanding the availability of high technology to as many people and companies as possible, and through that enabling innovation around Europe and around the world. So thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward for your questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions from the audience? No, thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. If
Thank you.
anything else pops up, you know where to find me.
Okay, now we have some short report about the roundtables which were held before the break. So I would like to call Mr. Tjark Schutte to tell us what did they discuss on the digitized agriculture roundtable.
No? Okay. Well, first of all, thank you to all the participants of the roundtable in digitized agriculture. I have to give a little disclaimer, which I did not tell before, is that I'm really bad at doing two things at the same time, meaning listening to your conversation or taking part in it and taking notes. But I will try to summarize as well as possible what we discussed. I think it was really interesting because we had very different perspectives in this conversation, and also very different experiences, very different backgrounds from the participants in the roundtable. First of all, one thing that came up and that was quite important, I think, is that the digitized or the agricultural market is somewhat special compared to other markets, in that it is highly subsidy based, for example, with often lower revenue for farmers than in other areas, in other industries, and with a lot of smaller stakeholders, farmers who actually are like small companies who invest their own money, their own life's work, which gives a little difference compared to other, or might give a difference compared to other industries. So one thing that we talked about a lot is that digitalization in agriculture faces a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to transformation from knowledge and new ideas into the market. And this is at least partially based on this this very structure of the industry. And because of this system, one thing that we pointed out was specifically is also that the customers, farmers, or farmers, basically they want to be included into the whole process of designing new technology, of new digital technology. They want to know why something is happening, how it's working, and they want to be sure that it's working at all times. And this is something that technology markets often or sometimes struggles with. Yes, and this is also something where we have a lot of, where at the moment we have a lot of push from the IT sector into the market, whereas we also require something that we need to include the agriculture itself. So we had we also had examples of where it works really well, where this technology transfer works really well, based on problems where solutions were developed, like remote system, robotic system, or also irrigation systems that are running reliably and are responding to the farmer in real time as to what the state of the system is. Another thing that was mentioned is that it is important to be part of the community for the technology provider in order to be accepted and in order to also gain the trust of this market. So another point that I've written down is that like larger farms, larger scale farms are often very well equipped in terms of technology and knowledge about this technology. They have experts in the area, whereas smaller farms are kind of sometimes left behind, but they also have struggled to find the financials to actually invest. So to them, it must be really clear what do they gain by investing money, because it's their own money that they're investing, and they need to see the results. Yes, and then we also spoke about problems in the area of agriculture, which is soil erosion, depletion of soils, but also pollution of water and soil through pesticides, which is something where digital technology can really help, be it through precision agriculture or just measuring in the first place the needs of soils and plants and analyzing it. Yes. Oh, that was the wrong way. Sorry. What was mentioned is, or what was really one key aspect is that the interaction between the stakeholders is really important throughout the whole process of developing a product in the digitized agriculture sector, and also through interviews and also providing test beds is seems to be an issue, like having fields where new technology can be tested without a smaller farmer risking some of their revenue, because it might hurt them already. Then yes. Yeah, but then we also had a lot of, as I said before, a lot of very successful, very good success stories from this area, and there is a lot of potential, especially in niche markets. That was one opinion. So where technology providers can find their specific targets, be it smaller scale farms, organic production, or yeah, and things like this. Yes, and this is a good opportunity also through SMART4ALL. SMART4ALL also offers the opportunity, for example, if you have technological solutions, to find a partner from agriculture or vice versa, so that you can actually get this gap closed between technology and agriculture side. Yes. If I've forgotten anything, please, from the participants, do not hesitate to add to this.
Thank you, Tjerk. I think this was very, very successful session. According to your report, this was very thorough, and I asked the audience if there are any questions about this digitized agriculture session round table. No, thank you. Thank you again, Tjerk. Two of the round tables were had the joint session, digitized environment and digitized transportation. So I would like to call Mr. Dejan Lekic to join us and to tell us what they concluded.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Actually, we merged two sessions, the environment and transport. So my colleague who was in charge of the transport session will merge the report and will present you the results. Thank you very much.
So Nikolina Brajovic will continue.
Hello. As Dan already said, we have merged our sessions. From the perspective of the panel, it was very easy because digitized transport and can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. Because digitized transport and digitized environment are complementary sessions. In the panel sessions, we had 3 online participants and 8 participants on site. On online session, we have one representative of the Greek company that has experience in micromobility, software development, traceability. The other participants were from Serbia and Montenegro, and most of them was from logistic, digitized transport, and environment. The main issues that we faced during these panel sessions was the brain drain. The brain drain is one of the biggest issues in the region because most of companies have a lack in software developments. Sometimes the ideas are very good, but there are no people that can implement it. The second issue that we faced was the level of innovation. We concluded that nowadays everything is called innovation and digitalization because those are buzzwords. And sometimes some new products and some new services are not fully digitized, or they are digitized, but they're not in line with the real customer needs. So in that perspective, there is a place for the improvement. Serbian participants also said that there is a need to adapt the education that will follow the industry requirements and to make some engineers that are market ready upon the graduation. The main issues that also raised were related to the IP of the experiments and the new products, the digital transformation in the sense of how it can be protected because many companies face the issue of having their idea adopted by the competition. So they don't know how to protect their own idea. And we have a conclusion that the best way is to follow the needs of the customer and to adapt it on by their needs. So to make a custom-made solution for the customers in the B2B business. Regarding the digitized transformation, the mutual conclusion was that all companies need more support from the governmental institutions, and they need more support from the NGOs, startup incubators, and other policymakers or stakeholders that are dealing with digitalization. And to develop something, the companies need to bridge the gap between the expert knowledge and the IT specialist. Some of the colleagues mentioned that companies are rather buying some solutions that are already existing in the market, but they are not dealing with the customized need of those customers. Regarding the trends, the most of discussion was dedicated on how to overcome the lack of standards and how to do the constant improvement of the processes, especially in blockchain in logistics. We concluded this panel session with a set of questions that were related to the project experience of the companies that were panelists. Most of them has explained that they have some kind of the knowledge in applying for projects, but they are not really proficient in order to get the funding. Then we have explained the possibilities how to apply for the cascade funding. We discovered that most of the participants heard first time in their lifetime for the cascade funding when they heard about SMART4ALL project. So definitely there is a need to, let's say, to have more projects like this in order to have companies that will be that will have an easier way to apply for grants. And that's all from the mutual panel session.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions from the audience? No, the last panel was about digitized anything, and because I was there, I will briefly report about this. We had an interesting presentation about several different topics that digitized anything covers. Digitized anything is, as the name says, is very wide area of applications, starting from Internet of Things, from some low power systems up to very huge systems in software technologies, which can help many companies in different fields to improve their businesses. So we started with presentations of two professionals who work a long time in this area, even before the name digitized anything was raised as something that covers this topic. So we had some interesting information about different fields of applications of software technologies mostly, and applications go from boutique industry up to industrial processes for manufacturing, maintenance, constructions, architecture, and so on and so on. And we had an interesting discussion after those presentations, which rose a question, is this only a matter of business to business application, or is there any possibility to widen this application, those applications to socially useful and helpful things? So there is the possibility, of course, to find something that will be of interest for a wide auditorium, but as in every business, it should be financed somehow, because we talk here about very, very large software applications, which demands presence of many software engineers, and their time is pretty valuable these days. So this was very briefly report on this roundtable. Digitize anything is a very wide area, and I think everybody can find himself or herself in this field if we talk about digitized approach to the world. It is developing and still developing. So I think we are at the very beginning of the very fruitful period where more and more digital applications will be of use for all of us. So I would like to hear if there is any question about this topic. Thank you. And this was the unofficial day. We have one thing left to close the today's session, and we'll continue tomorrow. So I will call Vesna Rašković-Depelov to join us here and to say a few words.
I think that we had enough words today, huh? What do you think? Thank you for being at the end of this first day, and thank you for participating actively during roundtables. And hopefully you shared during breaks and lunch your thoughts, your visit cards, your impressions. And if you are willing to share with us your thoughts, the biggest thoughts from today, please do that right now. One word when you are thinking about this today's conference, what is the word that is coming on your mind? So I'm not closing with my thoughts, but with yours. Collaboration, good. Knowledge sharing, excellent. Nice ideas, yes. So many different aspects. I'm just repeating from So we one word. Thank you for this. Other excellence, great. High potential. Okay. Do we have another? I mean, those words are very nice to have in mind for the second day. And tomorrow we will go further into how to apply for 80,000 euros in order to transfer your technology, innovative technology, to someone else abroad. And this is winning situation for your clients in order to receive your innovative technology and for them to lower their risk
in order to reach something new and useful for their businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now it's time for Nikos to address all of us.
Yes, first of all, from my side and on behalf of SMART4ALL Consortium, I would like to congratulate the organizers, Zoran, Boris, and the team, as Christos mentioned. I have to make a confession at the very beginning of this discussion about the organization of this event. We discussed it with Boris and Zoran internally that it would be nice to start mobilizing the ecosystem in the area, starting from Serbia. To be honest, what we started experiencing today, because it's not finished, it's something completely different compared to what I initially had in mind. So it's much better. It was a fantastic opportunity for the participant, for us to meet, to explore, to exchange ideas, share thoughts. I think that they have created a golden example for future events, and I'm really proud, not only for the event that is organized as part of SMART4ALL, but also for the fact that we're taking advantage of the momentum, and we're starting building something in Southeastern Europe that is concrete, and I think it has a lot of prospects. So I think this event can be considered with the support of SMART4ALL and the whole team as a first step in a journey that is really promising. That's my feeling, and I feel really confident that things are starting to move in the right direction. Thank you so much, and congratulations. It was excellent.
Thank you, Nikos, for nice words, and thank you all for being here today. Tomorrow we start with the more concrete stuff with pitching event that starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I call you all to join us tomorrow and to see what are the opportunities for financing through SMART4ALL project and other possible projects that are similar to the SMART4ALL project by the way of cascade financing. So thank you for today, and see you all hopefully tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
I have a last comment. Just I had a quick look at the last page of the program. There are lots of hidden secrets in the presentations. I know the presentation, I know what will be presented, so it will be a very nice guide for supporting the writing of good applications or get funding. So don't miss it.
Yes. Thank you again, and see you tomorrow.